What's up, y'all? Welcome to my pod where I am pushing positivity, purpose, and peace because I believe with these 3 P's, you will not only find success in your sport, but you will find success overall in your life. My mission is to ensure that student athletes can handle adversity not only on the court, not only on the field, not only in the pool, but also adversity in life. If this content is helpful to you, I would love if you could rate this EP on whatever streaming app you're tuning in from. If you're watching this on YouTube, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe, and even send to an athlete or a coach that you know needs this. This EP, y'all, we got a living bucket right here, Trey Birch Manning. If y'all want to learn something, definitely watch his games and definitely watch his pod to the end. Trey is extremely hardworking and very consistent person and player when it comes to effort and leadership. Finished his career at University of South Dakota, 43% from the 3, 620 career rebounds, and finished just shy of 1,000 points. If you want to learn about resiliency, if you want to know about being humbled, working hard to achieve your goals, this is the pod for you. I'm so excited for y'all to watch it. I know you're going to enjoy it. Until next time. What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my pod where I'm pushing positivity, purpose, and peace to all student athletes to help y'all adapt and adjust. We got Trey Big Money Birch Manning on the pod. I'm so excited. And honestly, it was really cool, like looking up what you've been doing so far. For the people that don't know, we went to high school together. I think you're like 2 years older than me.
Yeah, 2.
Yep, 2 grades. And it was just so cool to see like all the things you've accomplished, all the people you impact on your journey, who you're becoming. So I'm extremely grateful to have you on the pod. And I just wanted to say, like, it's super dope to see how you've matured, developed in every way. So I wanted to give you those props before we started.
Man, I think it's a little too much, being kind of nice, but I appreciate it for sure. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
It's a blessing for sure. So I'm very thankful for those kind of words.
Yeah, I'm glad. And also interviewing you too, I'm like thinking about Beamer when I was a freshman. And
Right.
there was like a 8 to 10 year stretch, like before and after us, where it was just like high level academics and athletics.
Right.
And I remember freshman year, like I came to this school and there was just so much pride, so much high energy to be a Titan, to be there. I don't know if you felt that way too or not.
Yeah, no, it was fun going to Todd Beamer. It was definitely fun. Like we had like my freshman year, there was a lot of like older people that were like, very supportive of other things like football and stuff, and like the basketball team, like we weren't too good my freshman year. So like we kind of had some support, but it was like
Yeah.
but seeing it the rest of my 3 years there, then even coming back, I came back, I think the year after I graduated and caught a couple of your guys' games. And you guys still had the great support. So I think that kept rolling for a while.
Absolutely. Yeah, especially with girls basketball, because my parents were the coach.
Yeah, for sure. For
sure. It kept going and my sister came in. So they had another good 4 years for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Also, you are a very versatile basketball player.
Yeah. Kind of do a little bit of everything.
Man, no, that's dope.
Yeah.
Was that something that you've always been like when you first started playing, or is that something you developed, being versatile out of a need or whatever? Like, what made you this player?
So growing up, I've always been kind of, for the vast majority, I've been taller than everyone. So, and pretty athletic. So I remember starting off like Boys and Girls Club, like I would always have the ball in my hands. So, learning to dribble a little bit there. But then when I made that jump to AAU and I was playing with kids in my age group, like, once again, I was taller than most people. So, like, I started to learn how, I had to learn how to play, like, the post a little bit. So I'm learning how to play the post and learning all these drop steps. Then around 5th grade, I got a new coach. Um, and he was like, nah, like, what happens if you stop growing tomorrow? Like, you gotta learn, you gotta know how to be a guard. So I
Yeah.
went, so what we would do is I would start the game playing point guard, and his son, who was around my height, would start the game at center.
Mm.
Then we would rotate from playing guard to big. So it was just like something I've always worked on. And as I got older, Kobe Bryant's my favorite player, and
Mm.
he got tremendous footwork in the post,
Tremendous. Yes.
mid post, and he can clearly handle the ball too. So I was like, okay, like all the guys I'm watching at this level can do a little bit of everything, and so it's just something that's just for me, like I'll be trying to tell a lot of these younger people, like I want the easiest points possible. So like if I have a little
Mm.
person, like I'm gonna post them up.
Absolutely.
If I can get a quick bucket off the dribble, then I'm gonna go get that. But like I want the easiest points versus like necessarily like what looks the coolest. Like everyone want the 30 combo moves
Mm.
like they Kyrie and stuff. Like
Right.
I just want this easiest bucket. But yeah, it was something kind of it was learned, but it's just always, I guess I learned it at so young that it just was always a part of my game.
Absolutely. I love what you said because I think so many people, and I was one of them, you can get caught up in your vision of yourself to where you limit your capabilities. And as you know, when you get to the next level, you're trying to get in the game however you see fit or however you can. So you may want to be a point guard, but if coach needs you as a post, and that's when you can get the most time, that's probably what you need to do, you know? And
Absolutely.
I love what you said about the Kyrie, the moves, because I think a lot of young athletes, they see those clips and they don't watch the full game. Like that's not
No.
happening every play. That's happening like end of the game or end of the shot clock. And you got to have some fundamentals to get an easy bucket. You don't have time to be dribbling
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
long.
I just try to remind them, like, especially like, because you got to look at everything in steps, right? So like you can't go from high school to the NBA or high school to WNBA. So it's like, so if you go to college, right? Or I guess
Mhm.
now for boys, you can go to like the G League and stuff. You could go
Yeah.
overseas and play pro. But anyways, you have to make the jump. And the jump, like they think the game just like crazier. And it's just like, no, the game gets more simpler because
Yes.
the speed and athleticism's there. So it's like you don't have a bunch of time to be doing all these moves that you think look good, because now not only that does the game get faster, so you got to be quicker in your decisions. Like you're playing elite defenders, elite athletes, like they sitting
Absolutely.
down on all them
Man.
cross moves, like they sitting down on it,
Yes.
so it's like that's their job now too. Like they're not trying to look bad in front of their coach. So it's like, they sitting down on that. So I tell people, like, it gets quicker.
Mhm.
Like you got to be quicker in your timing, like your reactions, like
Yep.
just a rip through and go, or one
Yep.
dribble. Then it's like once you get kind of going, you get a flow. Then maybe you might add a couple of moves in here and there, but it's like it's still not really like that, because like not everyone's that type of person, like.
Absolutely.
And I think it's funny because I'd be talking, and I hate to make it seem like I'm like 50 years old. I'm only 28, but it's just
Mhm.
like everyone be like, oh, LeBron this and Kyrie that. Like, first of all, these are like generational talent type people. Like Kyrie
Man.
Irving is one of the most skilled people I've ever seen with a basketball. Like, so it's like you to look at what this guy's doing is not really, you know,
Yeah.
comparable. So yeah, it's funny.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And don't expect that type of output and you don't put in that input. Like
Not 1 minute of work put in.
man.
Not
For
one
real,
minute.
like you're doing trick layups, but do you practice that? I've never seen you in the gym doing that
I've been in
for one
gyms
single
where,
second.
right, you ask them to make right hand, left hand layup, and they jumping straight to the jellies. The end.
It can't do the regular right hand.
Can I see y'all make 10 with both hands first before we try something else? No.
Absolutely. Oh yeah. I definitely know. Like when you training people, you do see that. They always want to do the spectacular thing, the step back three. But can you make two threes in a row in one spot? Catch and shoot.
I'm a big believer in do all the fundamentals. Like
Absolutely.
even the like some of the players I've worked with that are very skilled, like we're gonna still brush up on these fundamentals. Like we're still gonna do these basic things right here.
Absolutely. Footwork will change your life.
Change it.
It will change your life. Your ability to control your body weight, to use it at the right time. I know one of the things I learned going into college, you don't always have to go fast.
No.
If you looked at my highlight tapes from later in my career, I'm just like, ooh, jab, rock you, 1, 2,
right.
Pull up or layup or whatever. Like, and I learned, okay, it's not about going fast all the time, but it's about when you go fast, the intentionality, the precision.
100%. I think basketball is such a great sport because everyone thinks that it has to be boom, 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 boom.
Yes.
And it's just like basketball is such a great sport because everyone has different speeds and the game is played at different speeds, right? Like,
absolutely.
Can I go slow to fast, or can I go from a fast move and bring it back down to going fast again? So it's like the change of pace in basketball is more important than you just being a blur all the time. Like,
absolutely,
you got to have great change of pace. And like, I think there's so many great athletes at doing that now in the game. Like Luka's amazing. Like you look at him, you like, this dude is not athletic at all, but he's a monster because he understands those things. Like you said, like I can get to my spot. I know how to change my pace, my tempo. So it's like you learn those things. You learn those things for sure.
Absolutely. And angles too.
Yeah.
Man.
100%.
And we're kind of geeking out on the technicalities, but it's true. Like
100%.
Angles. I remember the summer of my last year in Nevada, I was working with my homie Logan, shout out to Logan, and he was like, everybody's so focused on going like front and back, but you can see an open spot, go at an angle to that open spot, and now you're getting an easier shot. You know what I mean? And that comes with time. That comes with watching film, being like, oh, I didn't really have to go there. I could have dribbled to the side and just pulled up, So
100%.
It's
100%.
There's levels to it. For sure.
Always levels. Always levels to it.
Yes. So I want to go back to young TBM, young Trey. Like, what made you decide that you wanted to play basketball at the next level?
Man, I just always watched basketball. Like, so when I was younger, my dad was always at for everyone from the area, Seattle, Washington area. He used to always play at Liberty Park outside. And I just remember being little out there. Me and my sister would be out there. My dad he would play from he's playing from 12 to sundown. Like he's getting it in. Like, so I just always remember my dad hooping. Then once I got on the court, like my sister started hooping, then I started hooping. And like, I just remembered man, I just love the game. I love basketball because I feel like it's one of very few games where the way everyone plays is different. So it's like you really can be yourself on the court. So it's just one way you could I just always love hooping. I love the competitiveness of it. I'm just a competitor naturally.
Yeah.
And it was just a way that it just felt natural to me, I guess. Just seeing a lot of people in my family, really close people play basketball, I was just like, okay, I want to do this. And I don't think I really started thinking about hoop for real. I knew I wanted to play it, and I wanted to play it until I probably got to 6th grade, where I was like, okay, I want to go to college, because now you got a little more understanding. I'm watching March Madness tournaments and watching these dudes go crazy, and I'm watching Kobe in the NBA. So it's man, I want do something with this basketball thing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, the opportunities you get with sport, and arguably, at least for women's sport, you get a lot more with basketball. It's amazing, and it definitely makes you grateful for all the hard work you put in. You have been to a lot of different levels, but I want to ask you, what steps or what things do you need to do on and off the court to get to the next level?
So going from high school to college, like, man, you have to be putting in the work, especially now.
Mm,
Now it's a different game with the transfer portal. So you're competing against college people that have experience. You're competing against players that have experience, and now you're not only in that sense, like I'm competing versus the best Division 1 players that want to go somewhere new, Division 2 players, Division 3s, or
mm,
then you got to bring in the junior college world. Like I'm competing against these guys that want to transfer in. Then on top of that,
mm-hmm.
you got to add in the elite level high school kids. Like now, my people
Absolutely.
around my age, like now, now they're trying to get in there too. So
Mm-hmm.
the times are really different for that, but I think the the basics are going to be the same, right? Like, am I putting in the work? And you got to put in the time. Like looking back to me, like I did work a lot, but then I even like reflect and I'm like, there's so much more time I could have been putting in
Yes,
work. And
absolutely.
it's just like, so you gotta put in the work. And the game is going. The game is in a good place because of the skill sets. I think people are more skilled than ever before.
Mm-hmm.
Um, People are more athletic. I would say, nowadays there's so much, like YouTube is such a crazy thing to have. Like, and I wish like I would have used it or knew how to use it in
Mm,
high school because
absolutely,
like
yeah.
I would have started weight training. Like
Right.
I was always under the impression in high school, like, man, I'm like basketball players don't lift. I was in for a rude awakening when I got to
Mm-hmm.
college. Like they be
Mm-hmm.
having you in there and you be looking
Man.
around like what's going on in here? Like
Mm-hmm.
so I would just say the work is always gonna show. Like and I remember an AU coach, Coach Gary Ward, he would always tell us like your confidence comes from your work. So like if you're putting in the work, like you're gonna have that confidence. That's what I tell people. Like
Yeah.
you're gonna have confidence. And like I've known Michael Jordan has kind of said the same thing. Kobe Bryant has kind of touched on that. Like their confidence comes from you putting in that constant work, like doing the things over and over again. So I would say you have to be realistic with yourself, which is really
Yes.
tough for people in general. But as athletes, like
Mm-hmm.
what are like we want to go and do stuff that we're good at. Like if I'm a 3-point shooter but I can't really shoot any layups. Like I need to be shooting a couple hundred layups and working on my finishes every day. Like I
Right.
don't know. We can put off my shooting until later. So being realistic with yourself and understanding the intensity of the work you need to put in. Like you don't have to
Mm-hmm.
go you don't have to go like 3 hours straight or something like that. But like if you get a good 45 an hour
Mm-hmm.
to an hour and a half in, but you're really working, like that's a good workout. That's a good day. Like I'd rather take that day versus you just being in a, a 3 hour training session, but you're capable of giving 100%, but you're only giving 60. Like I don't want that
Absolutely.
work. So it's just like understanding that the level of intensity of work and the consistency of putting in the work. Like you got to be consistent in that stuff.
Yes. I love that you mentioned that because as I'm sure you witness as well, sometimes people don't realize what it really takes. And they say these outlandish goals like, I want to play at the next level. I want to play
Right.
D1. And
Right.
you're not in the gym enough. One, you're simply
Nope.
not good enough. And two, you're not in the gym enough. And that's not to make you feel bad, but like you said, you have to be realistic. What do I want and what is required? Who else is there in the space that I want to be in? What are they doing? You know what I mean? So I love that you touched on that because that's so true. And
Yes.
I think people forget that, the consistency. And when you're doing good too, because sometimes you're doing good, you stop going to the gym, you wait till you do bad, and now you're stressed.
Right.
You know,
Right.
now you're sick and you're in your head and you can't get out of it.
And that's a ugly place to be. That's an ugly place to be. I've been in those places where, a couple things go wrong, and I've been out the gym a little bit. So now you get in
Right.
the gym, then that workout's not good, and I'm just looking around like, man, what's going on? Like, that's not a good place to be at all.
It's really not. I'm laughing because, man, you really be stuck
You be, I
and
literally,
sad.
I've literally had one workout my senior year. I think we might have been like on a couple day break or something. I
Mhm.
came back with one of my assistant coaches, my guy, Coach G. Shout out to Coach G. I wonder if he remembers this workout, but like we literally came in like kind of early. It was during the summer, kind of early.
Mhm.
And we're just going through like our normal stuff, warming up with like some layups, getting some touchdown, little baby jumpers. And like I airballed a jumper. I'm just like, okay, like, it happens
Right.
sometimes.
Mhm.
Then like I make one, miss one, miss one. Then I airball again. I'm a little bit out like mid range jumpers now, and I'm just
Mhm.
like, okay. Then I airball like two to three more, and he just kind of looks at me, and I look at him, and he was like, yeah, I'll just see you later. Like come back for a different workout. And I was like, no,
Right.
I was like, he was like, we'll try again in the evening. I was like, nah, you're probably right. Like, yeah, let's go ahead and retry this one.
Yeah.
Hit the
So
restart
funny.
button.
For real.
Hit the restart button.
Clear the catch real quick because something
Yeah. I was like, maybe I just need to go back to sleep or something. Maybe I need to go get breakfast.
man.
I don't know what it is,
Right.
but
Maybe your iron was low. Like something
man,
was, you
it's
needed a snack.
hey, you be there, Like I know, kids think they're gonna laugh or whatever, especially kids like I know if they see this, but hey, it happens. It
It
happens.
really does. It
It
happens to the
happens.
best of us. So
It
true.
happens. Funky.
Man, for real. So I kind of want to talk about your JUCO experience too. What was your mindset going into JUCO? Because I know that wasn't like your first plan, right?
So going into my senior year, really I was just really focused on high school hoops. Like I wanted to win a state
Mm,
championship. Um, So I was just really focused on that. Clearly, as a senior, and some with me, like I was pretty talented. I was good, and so I was like, man, of course I want to go play college basketball. And um, the AU season, I played for a good team. I played for Team Bradley Northwest Panthers. I played with a lot of really talented guys,
mm,
um, guys that went to big colleges and did amazing things. So we had a lot of activity, and there's a couple people who look here and there, but nothing too serious. So going to my senior year, I was just like, okay, um, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, nothing serious. And so I was like, all right, I'm just gonna have to go the junior college route.
mm,
Um, there was like even a couple D2s that were
mm,
talking to me, but there was like only one that was kind of more serious
mm.
in that process. Then I was thinking about it. Then I was just like, that just come back to being real with yourself. I was thinking about it. I was like,
Yeah.
this is what I have. Maybe I'm just a D2 player. And I asked a couple coaches that I was really close with that I trust, and they were just like, they're like, nah, I think you could play Division I basketball. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go to junior college, and I'm just gonna give it everything I have, and we'll see where the chips fall. If I only go D2, and that's where I go. If I go,
Hmm.
if it's D3 NAIA, whatever it is, like that's just where the
Hmm.
chips are gonna fall, and we'll
Right.
just live with it, and we'll ball from there. So my
Yeah.
mindset was just to give it everything I had, just work, um, be ready to work, and
Yeah.
like have have expectations, but don't really have no expectations. Just come in with
Mm.
like my only expectation was to be like just be ready to be in an environment where everyone wants to do what you want to do. Like everyone wants to get out and go Division I. So it was like
Right.
that was my only expectation. So I was like, I just need to be ready to work. Like
Absolutely.
people can be better than me, but like you're gonna know when I'm on the court. Like there's not gonna be too many people that's gonna be able to say they can outwork me.
Absolutely.
So that was
Absolutely.
my mindset going into JUCO because that's a different world. That's a different grind.
Yeah, for sure. And I love how in your story you humbled yourself and you asked for feedback and you were like, hey, like, is this really something you think I could do? Do you, what are the steps? What do I need to do? Because not many people do that. I think oftentimes our pride gets in the way and then we
Yeah,
end up doing things we shouldn't be doing.
that's one thing like I've learned, especially as I've gone through some years, is just like you have to be able to be humble and you can't let your pride get in the way of things.
Man,
Like me and my best friend, my brother, we say like we always quote this Nipsey Hussle bar, and it just be like, "Got to know yourself on the coldest nights." And it's just like
mm,
you got to know yourself. Like if you don't know yourself, like you just be waving in the wind, you know, like I know myself when times get rough. I know myself when times is good. Like if you don't know yourself, it can get rocky. It can get rocky.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I love that. What something that you would feel comfortable sharing? What is some struggles that you had, or what are some struggles that you've had, and how did you choose to overcome them?
Um like we saying just in general, or we talking like college, what?
It can be in general. I mean, it'd be intertwining. Things be following you.
Um man, it's just like I said, you just gotta you gotta humble yourself. I know um going into college, like so going into JUCO, how to humble myself. I'm sitting behind monsters. Like I sat behind this dude named Brian Angola, who was he was a leading scorer in the nation in JUCO. He's averaged 26. Then I played with another dude that I knew since we were younger, BJ, who was the second leading scorer in the nation. So I'm playing with the one and two leading scorer in the nation. Like this dude, and
Wow.
one's kind of playing. We're playing similar positions. He's like a
Hmm.
3-4. Could play a little five at that time. And it was like I was like a 3-4. So it's like you know. Then we had three other guys that went Division 1. I came off the bench. I was six man. So it was like that was a humbling
Right.
experience right there. Like I've always like started and played the majority of my life. Like there's not too many times where I can remember coming off the bench for anything. So just that, then I thought I was going to be there for like at least 2 years, but
Mm,
I was blessed enough to have a school and a coaching staff that believed in me at the University of South Dakota. So I go to South Dakota, and
yep.
once again I'm coming in with that expectation, like okay, like not no one's going to outwork me. Like we'll see how it goes, yada yada yada. And so it was just like in my head, it come back to this, like especially my first game. So my first game, Division 1, like I scored, I think I had 24. So I'm like, okay, like some of the return, like another guy that I knew at the time that he didn't have his best game. So I'm like, okay, like maybe I could just be the guy on this team. Like maybe this is
Hmm.
my team. And a couple games go by, I still playing well, but the roles definitely shift. So it was like I
Right.
had to I had to bring my expectations back, like back to reality. I had to like kind of check myself. Not that I wasn't capable of it, and also too like I was putting in work, but I could have put in way more work. Like the kid that didn't have a great game in our first game, like he was consistently like going late at night, getting shots up, doing this, and it was like
Right.
he might be in there for an hour, and I might just be in there for like 30 minutes. So it's like,
Hmm.
I it was like that was the expectation. So I would just say like being if anyone watches this, take this away is just you gotta be real with yourself, like in many aspects. Like I got to the point where I realized like I'm not gonna be no Kobe Bryant. Like that's
Mm.
I'm
And
not
that's
gonna
okay.
be I'm not gonna be a Kobe Bryant. Like that's
Yeah.
not, if I had to pick someone I'm closer to, like would be like I was more so a Jimmy Butler. Like I'm a guy that, especially when he first got in the league, like I'm a guy that's gonna make an impact on this team. There's not too many people that's gonna outwork me.
Hmm.
I'm gonna do the things that it takes to win because I love winning. I love, helping out my teammates win. Then as I got a little bit older, I kept getting better. Some would say a late bloomer, and it was just like my
Hmm.
responsibilities grew a little bit more. But it's just like I understood my role. Like I'm at my core, I'm a competitor and I want to win. So it's like I'm a I'm a sacrifice to do what it takes to win. And that just came from me being real with myself. So I would just always say, like, you just because you might not hear what what you want, that doesn't mean for one, is it changeable? Like can I do something to change this? Like
Hmm.
can I put in the work? Or two, okay, how do I take this and run with it and still get the most out of it? And that just comes from back to like humbling yourself, not being too prideful, and just being real with yourself and understanding
Absolutely.
everything about it.
Absolutely. That's good. Man, I wish we had more time. I got the library people trying to kick me out.
Hey, just hey, hit me up. Hit me
We
up.
got to do a part two, Trey, for real.
We could do a
There
part
was
two.
so
Hit me
much
up.
that I wanted to ask. So, and so much I could tell you have wisdom. So,
Man,
I appreciate the time.
I don't know if it's wisdom. I just got a little, a little talking I can throw out there. See if it works for somebody.
Yes, I appreciate it. I
No,
appreciate it.
absolutely. Can you see me? I don't know what happened right there. That was weird.
Mm. Which one do you think looks better? Can you see me adjusting it?
Yeah, I can see you adjusting it.
This is like too aggressive, huh, for me on my side.
Whatever you want. This is your show. You tell me how you want it to do.
I'm gonna start. You ready?
Yep.
Okay.